So I received some money and then proceeded to try and find somebody with some cannabis medicine. And I walked around, which I would do normally anyway. I didn't find anybody, and I released the idea and went to come home, eat some food, go to sleep. And I walked around the back way, and there were some young lads. And bearing in mind, the day was themed along the line of conflict with youth. And I just asked them, and they were going to give me a number, but then they actually shared what they had with me. They gave me a tenner's worth of bud. And then I told them I was staying in this tent, and then I got in the tent, rolled a joint, but then they came back to ask if I had a grinder they could borrow, and then they said I could join them for a bit if I wanted. So I went and sat with them and just asked them, what their experience of this area was. They couldn't understand why I would be here because it's boring. So I told them why I'm here, and that it's not boring for me, or more to the point that that's what I need, because the opposite of boring is, I'm just not looking for that at the moment. And I told them about Jesus, and they listened to everything I said. And that feels like a reward for my patience in dealing with humans, small ones. And I have a feeling that I'll see them again. I've got a phone number for them, because they are switched on and actually compassionate, gentle hearts. So just felt really rewarded. And then I smoked a joint to myself and went deep into meditation and deep into my fear. I felt it, but not only that, I realised it, I embraced it, the fear. A particular fear, which is quite significant to a soul, really. The fear that I am going to hell, right? But it wasn't that. Just the idea. It was a fact. I was in the energy of the fact of you're going to hell. And not only you're going to hell, but this is why. Not because of particular action that I've done, but because the personality, the mental, the world view, or the state of being that turned me entirely selfish. I was in a space of, you can't do anything because you've already done this. You've already manipulated this many people. You've already harmed this many people through your actions. You've already you've already left so much chaos and carnage behind you. And it was like, so you will just live in a tent and you never be able to tell anybody that you're going to hell because they already know. And they would just say, well, yeah. And that was deep. And it's also not the truth. But to feel that as a truth, right, the full weight and depth of human selfishness. Hell is complete selfishness. A world where you couldn't be of service if you tried, because even if you tried to be helpful or kind, you would be doing it because you didn't want to be in hell. And that's not the same as creating heaven on earth. It's not the same at all. And the fear of hell is what creates hell. It's a state of being. I very clearly felt that. I embodied it. It's like locked in the root. And another thing which helped me to be in that space was my eating far too much food of questionable quality. In the hell last night, the most horrifying part, the worst aspect, was that the birds were in on it. Like, the prospect that the birds, nature, whatever, the whole of reality was leading me into a trap whereby I had lived a life full of illusion and been tempted and trapped beyond any redemption. But that's like God turning against you. And my heart, it's like I was in the energy of somebody about to have a heart attack and go to hell. In my heart was searching for God, and God was saying in my heart, in my mind, and in the birds, and in everything, in every single aspect of creation, saying, no, fucked it, mate. Fucked it. What do you mean? Oh my God. What do you mean? Who are you searching for? The one that you oh so cleverly superseded in your calculated, methodical approach to life. But then I sat up and I looked at the candle that was burning, and I smelt the incense, and I grounded myself here and now. And I realised the other half of the story. We're not sinners. We're not sinful. We're not unworthy. Those ideologies are what prevent us from being good, servants, or assuming bigger responsibilities, receiving better, embodying heaven on earth. The fear of hell is what stops people from embodying heaven on earth. Because you can't take hell into heaven, even in thought. How could you? There is no business. But in order to understand the love of the Creator, it's definitely helped me to comprehend that if I was living a certain way, if I carried on like that, and I'm just talking about literally psychically, intellectually, judging other humans to a degree that you can abuse the power that comes from knowing others. But more to the point, the amount of times I have just, and with the caveat that it could never have been any different, all the times I've just casually, essentially murdered somebody by disconnecting from them and unremembering them. The devil was trying big time last night to convince me and he has quite a convincing tone. Heaven is here.